All right, welcome everyone. Today is our All Lives Matter call with Dr. Alex Loyd and Dr. David Peck. It's December the 21st, 2022. So hi Alex. Before we start, I'm going to read this disclaimer. This presentation is for education and informational purposes only. And since we're going to be talking about issues of health and well-being, we wanted to make sure that you understand this information is not intended to heal or cure anything. Everything in the presentation are the opinions of Dr. Alex Loyd, Dr. David Peck, myself, Johanna Chan, or you if you choose to share. You should always check with a licensed healthcare provider about any specific health concerns you may have. All right, guys, take it away.
Alex?
Hi, Alex. I think you're muted, Alex.
All right. Alex can't hear us.
Alex, you're muted.
Okay, I'm Dr. David Peck. Alex is right there. Everyone knows Alex Loyd. This is the guy who's sacrificed his whole life to try to help us get emotional well-being and balance. And there he is in living color. Anyway, so I'm the guy who spent his whole life in the system working like medical and science and writing papers and taking care of patients and all this in the traditional medical way. And was looking at the system like, oh my God, how messed up is the system? You know, the patient, everyone's sick. They're terribly sick. The not only the patients, but the providers. Honestly, we seemed like we were all out of balance too. And made the switch basically as a result of doing the healing code and getting personal benefit, as well as seeing other people get the benefit from emotional well-being. Said to myself, this is crazy. And jumped off that ship and came over into this one, because this is where people actually are getting benefit. I mean, not to say that Western medicine doesn't have some place, but if you look at overall what's happened during the implementation of Western medicine, the sickness level, although we're living longer, the number of illnesses that people have, they're called not comorbidities, but where you have diabetes, hypertension, I forget the word now, but several different chronic diseases. And those people are actually taking up all the healthcare resources, but also the level of obesity and everything going on, the diseases are skyrocketing. And you have to say to yourself, how much longer are we going to continue on the same pathway of failure, I mean, in a way, making people sicker. So this is the answer. I mean, not just the healing code, there are other modalities also, but this is a great package that has everything basically you need to get, like, clean your entire house of emotional baggage and find that place of peace and well-being and happiness, the joy that we really are all seeking, but we've sort of been fooled into thinking that it comes in a Christmas package or something like that. Anyway, that's my ramble again. Alex, are you on yet, or can you hear us or speak? No. Okay, so he doesn't hear us. Anyway, so the topic today is a combination of Alex's and mine, but we're basically talking about fear of change. Yeah, good. Are you? Okay, fear of change. And I'll just tell my own story and then we can get into some general points as well. But actually, let's start with the general points. I mean, so the question is, why do some people welcome the change and others oppose it? That's one question. The other question, it basically, or statement, depends on what is being changed. So some people can benefit from the change, other people don't benefit from the change. But in any event, it's taking us out of our comfort zone. Okay, so I'll just say with my own situation, one example, and this is an example of where taking a limiting belief away is actually results in change. So you're not saying that, oh, you want to change this or change this. It's just when you heal one thing, it allows this change to occur. Well, that has to do with being vulnerable, essentially. And I've told the story about early on, I had this interaction with my dad in the prepubertal area where I had this interaction with a girl who I was attracted to, and he basically humiliated me, oh, look at David. And also it just put me in a position of protection and closed down state, essentially for my whole life. basically when it came to, admitting that you like somebody, because I was this great humiliation. So anyway, as a result of healing, etc., I feel that now, it's kind of a weird feeling for me to be vulnerable, but it's definitely a growth phase. And, I appreciate, the people that were involved with, that helped me to realize this and to grow from it. And so, I'm still growing, obviously, but it's liberating. And so, I would like to say to the people who out there, and I know there's many of them just like me that have had experiences where, as a result of things that happened early on, you back on, that they would hold back, or be in a defensive protective stage when it comes to certain things. And that's a big one, I think, when it comes to making yourself vulnerable and being honest with your emotions. Alex, are you there? Uh-oh. Wait, I'm not sure how much.
He's gonna try to come back in. He wasn't hearing us at all. So
right.
So I just called him. He's gonna
okay, re-enter. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
hi Alex, can you hear us?
I'm sorry, I lost my train. Alex. Okay. So this is the topic basically. What's that? No, there's no, I don't know. Alex? There he is.
He says he can't. He says he can't hear us. I don't know what's. That's weird. We see him. He sees us, but no sound.
Can he call on the phone? Maybe he can call on the phone and just hold it up to his. Wait, actually.
I did call him.
Okay. No, wait. So he can't. There's no sound, and he can't hear us either.
Huh.
The other sound stuff works fine, but not the Zoom. Oh, Alex. Can you call on the phone and hold it up to the something? Or I guess that wouldn't work because. Can you read lips? Can you read lips? Read lips? Because we can't, so that wouldn't work. Oh, Alex, maybe you could type in what you're gonna say. We need Alex's input. Oh my God, we can't just be left with David, What are we gonna do? Oh, he's gonna make faces. Okay, make faces.
I'm gonna see if Santo's available. So okay. You can just keep talking.
Okay. All right. So wait, here's a question. While we're on it, is there a new call-in number? Not that I know of, April. The other thing I wanted to say, because last week it was interesting because Alex, you didn't hear this, but some of the people that were participating, April was talking about how it felt like a family, being in a family, because we were discussing, pretty significant, important personal issues. And, I just had to say, I wanted to thank everybody who's been involved with this because, experiencing this sort of dynamic that is akin to being a family is something that is foreign to me, because I don't mean to, everyone had their own families and everything, but our way of getting along was to insult each other and make fun of each other. That's our family interaction, and we're very guarded and protected in terms of our own emotions. So it's really, I don't know how to describe it for a guy, at my stage of life, but to be experiencing a family, in a way, a family gathering in that way, I appreciate it. So thank you everybody who's been participating and listening and what have you. So no, Alex. Oh, okay, we're lost without Alex. The other thing I wanted just to remind people of is that, because Alex had brought up addictions, and 99% of addictions lead to relapse, and 100% of people have at least one habit that holds them back in life. And what I wanted to say was, in terms of addictions, I feel pretty strongly about this. Is that the addiction will never really be able to, it's more of a coping mechanism than anything. Coping versus healing is really the issue I wanted to raise, is that if you cope with the issue or cope with the addiction and etc., as soon as you get back into that state, you're back triggered again, and then you're gonna fall back off the wagon, so to speak. You have to address the source. What is driving the addiction, and that's not so easy, obviously, to do, but that's where we're going to get the 100% heal, the 100% non-relapse rate, is the people who have actually addressed the drivers of it, got in there and basically did all the work, essentially. Not easy, but it's a journey, and so they're the ones that I think are really going to get the benefit, of that healing. Alex, are you still? Yeah, still. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, so that was the message. And I'm not sure I have that much more to say. I spoke pretty fast. I thought you were going to be on the call, Alex. But should we give it another couple minutes just to see if we can get you on there? It's only like 1:15 right now, so. Or type in stuff. As the healing codes push, we could just go right into Trilogy after the code. Alex can see Dave. Okay, yeah, we could do the process. That's good. So maybe we should just go ahead and do the process then. Yeah, that's what April was suggesting. Okay, that's fine. And then we can circle back, whatever. So this is to heal systemic fear of change. And just saying, because there is so much change in the air these days, and so much happening, that the fear of change is really an important, very common issue right now, because the change is related to so many different things that are occurring. But as I see it, in my opinion, the major change that's occurring, and the most important change, is the change that's occurring where we're moving from darkness to light. And what do I mean by darkness to light? All the things that contribute to development of negative emotions, that make us do things that are hurtful to ourselves or others. Anything that results in a negative outcome or a negative feeling, etc. And this especially, and I'm going to try to be a little bit random here, but when I think about business practices and what's taught in business, how you should approach business, I look at that and I say to myself, I'm sorry for all those business people out there, but that to me sounds like the exact opposite of what we should be doing in order to increase our humanity. To become more, to be kind, not to look at people and see how you can use them and manipulate them, and that you have to badger them 8 or 9 times in order to get them to do what you want. That, I think, is the exact opposite. But that is business practice. That's, you got to be that way. If you don't not like that, you fail, you lose, or whatever like that. So there's so many examples. That's just one of them, of where I see us moving from darkness to light, and the choice is ours. We can choose to move to the light. And this is one of the ways that we can do it, is by healing ourselves. I think this is the most important way, and this goes back to the whole beginning of this, the protests and the movement, was to stop self-hate. Because that's real. That is a major key that we, that we've been sort of taught how to, hate ourselves, belittle ourselves, ostracize ourselves, etc. So the movement from darkness to light, and that comes in so many different forms, but we all have that choice. And we now, from God's grace and Alex Loyd, we have the tools to make that change. And I just like to reiterate that when a person makes a change from using these tools and moving from lies to truth, essentially, the same as darkness to light. They're almost synonymous in a way. They can uncover their authenticity. And that authenticity is what is the pathway to truth and God and love, actually. So, and it's not a one-time deal. You can work with, I've worked with people that get the benefit, but if you don't continue, if you don't move forward, you will have gotten the benefit to a certain extent, but then you maybe say that, oh, okay, I'm going to take a break for a while and then I'll get back on the journey. But it's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong journey. It's an approach and it's a pathway. And so I've chosen to take that pathway. Alex has chosen to take that pathway. So many others, Johanna's chosen to take that pathway. But that pathway, and you'll hear it from us and others, it doesn't end. And that's part of the beauty of it. And I gotta say also that, because I play jazz, another great thing about music in that way is similar. It's like there's no final stage. I mean, you could say this for anything when we talk about the stress versus success goals, but the idea for me playing jazz is not to make a third record or win a Grammy. It's basically to get as good as I can and to touch as many people with music as possible. And learn and continue to grow my music. And that's something that is a lifelong. That's the beauty of it. There's no end to it. So you just keep going. You just keep going and growing. And then, and as you're doing it, you're probably going to have a great time while you're doing it. So, what could be better than that? But the problem is taking that first step, obviously. And that's been one of the big struggles, I'm sure, for Alex, who's been at this for so many years, getting people to give it a try, to take a look at yourself and use these tools. That's not easy for someone who's been ingrained in it for their whole life. I'm talking about my story. This is something I was sort of aware of it, but I didn't realize how much it was impacting every aspect of my life. And so anyway, the challenge is to get people involved. Is Alex? No.
He's talking. He's Santos. I think Santos calling him.
Santo? David's in a ramble phase right now.
You're doing great, Dave. You're doing great.
Thank you.
So, he's talking to Santo right now. Oh,
we can hear a little bit.
Oh, we can barely hear him.
We can hear you a little bit, Alex. Louder.
He's talking to Santo.
Anyway, so those strategies to try to get people involved. One of the best, actually, and I think Alex will support this, is you're the example. And so as the example, the people around you, as they see you grow and, balance emotionally and deal with things, they'll be, that's I think one of the major advertising, parts, it's the people that are getting the benefit from the code. So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to get people to give it a try and also to give it a try with a good heart, because that's the other part, is that the intention has to be pure I believe that that's when you get the most benefit, is if there's not, it can't be that sort of like, I mean, it can be like, I'm not sure if this is going to work. I'm going to, I'm going to give it an honest try, but to be like, oh, cynical going in, it's not going to work. So
Right.
another thing you could tell the people that you're encouraging, or, that you have, that are doing it and aren't getting a benefit or that kind of thing.
Right.
Is,
So
yeah, go ahead.
So he's on the phone with Santo, and I can hear him. I can hear him teeny bits back and forth. So I'm not sure. Oh, there he is. Oh.
Almost.
Test speaker, switch the phone, leave computer, and then
it's better.
That's all. I think Dave is hearing me low enough to disturb him.
But it's choppy. It's choppy. It's choppy. It's choppy.
Uh-oh. Now he's muted. Huh. I'm not sure what to do. Now he's actually muted, I see. So I'm asking him to unmute.
Yeah, he could just unmute then, but anyway. No, on my screen it shows that he's muted. Should we do the process? Should I do the healing code process now?
Yeah, I think go ahead and say a prayer and do the healing code, and then I can do the trilogy.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so this is for fear of change, any type of change that we pray, we request. And the reason I say request or pray, because you don't have to necessarily have a religion or belief in God in order to do these and get benefits. So you can just simply request if you're uncomfortable with prayer and God. So we pray or request that all destructive, negative cellular memories, unhealthy habits and addictions, false limiting beliefs, and any relationship issues related to a fear of change in any form, including vulnerability, be found, opened, and healed through love, light, truth, and God. Okay, and the first position is both hands in the bridge position, both hands in the bridge for fear of change. Second position, left hand Adam's apple, right hand jaw. Okay, third position, left hand temple, right hand bridge. Fear of change. Fourth position, left hand Adam's apple, right hand temple. Okay, let's do another cycle. Both hands in the bridge, first position. Both hands bridge. Fear of change. Okay, left hand Adam's apple, right hand jaw. Okay, third position, left hand temple, right hand bridge. In the fourth position, left hand Adam's apple, right hand temple. Okay, that's 2 cycles. Johanna, do you want to?
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the tapping for the acupoints and meridians. We're going to start with little finger, collarbone, sore spot, side of the eyes or temples, under the eyes, middle of the chest, index finger, under the nose, collarbone, side of the hands, and now the 9G, tapping the gamut point. Eyes closed, eyes open. Eyes look down to the right, eyes look down to the left. Roll the eyes in a circle, roll the eyes in the opposite direction. Hum.
1,
Count.
2, 3,
1,
4,
2,
5.
3, 4, 5. Hum again. We're going to stimulate the governing and conception vessel now. Start at the base, and we're going to slide all the way up without stopping to the top of the spine. Come back again and start at the base. Slide all the way up and over. Come back again to the base. Slide all the way up without stopping over to the top of the spine. And let's do it one more time. Start at the base. Slide all the way up over to the top of the spine. And now we're going to stimulate the healing centers. Let's start with the heart. Open, harmonize. Slide up to the throat. Open, harmonize. Slide up to the crown. Open, harmonize. Slide all the way down to the base. open, harmonize. We're going to slowly move up, slide up just under the belly button, open, harmonize. Up to the tummy or the solar plexus, open, harmonize. Up to the heart, open, harmonize. To the throat, open, harmonize. To the forehead, open, harmonize. To the crown, open, harmonize. And now we'll do a healing code 2. We're going to place both hands below the belly button. Just relax. You focus on the love picture. And you could do additional minutes if you know the other trilogy minutes, or you can hold it here for as long as you like, or repeat the whole process. All right, that's it.
Great. Yeah.
All right, so
I do trilogy every morning. I do 12, all 9 categories. I love it.
Yeah, I do too. All right, so we have a couple of hands up. Let me open April's line. Now, this is not for custom codes just yet, okay? So when you get to the custom codes, then I'm going to mute it so we don't broadcast out everywhere. So April, your line is open. I mean, if you want to open your line.
Hey, hi guys.
Hey,
Hi,
April.
I might have had a couple questions. I can't remember just
Oh,
what.
okay.
Because I got, it was a good discussion beforehand. But maybe I was starting to ask about the the codes being a mechanistic thing, so that they even would work on the infants and the animals. So I know it probably, you guys were talking a minute ago about, well, if the person trying it, if it's a half-hearted, whatever, let them go ahead. I'm thinking that what y'all meant by that was let them go ahead and try it, because they might still have a testimony, even if, because they said it's not susceptible to placebo because, well, it even works on animals and infants. So what do you guys say about that?
That's a good point.
It does work on animals and infants and people that even don't even know you're doing it for them. But
Yeah, my first testimony was that way. Like my first testimony, my ex was standing behind me. I was cleaning a bathroom and my arm, I was at work and my arm was hurting, and he was like, "Hey, can I try something on you?" And he's always trying all kinds of crazy stuff. And I was like, sure, do I gotta start working? And I was already to the point where I was cleaning with one arm. Like I was it was so funny. I was trying to hold on to the cleaners and stuff, and I was already gotten one-handed with working. And so, in a moment, I mean, it wasn't in a second, it wasn't in like 2 seconds, but it might have been 4 or 5 seconds. The pain just stopped, and we're talking severe shoulder pain. I'd had this shoulder pain for like a year, and it was just off and on, and it would just get bad, and I would have to, I would have to stop using my arm. And I turned around and I looked at him and I was like, "What'd you do?" And he was like, "Oh my God, that worked." And I was like, "What did you do?"
so
Wait, he was doing a healing code?
Yeah, so yeah, he was just using the universal healing code from the book that he found in the library. So that was actually my first testimony with the healing code. It wasn't anything I was doing at all.
and that is not unusual. I've heard that so many times, and it's quite amazing. one of the first testimonies I heard about someone being skeptical was one of our coaches, and her husband had heart disease, and he just thought it was really silly, but he was in pretty desperate states, and so he says, well, I'll give it a try. So he had just a hint, a little hope that it would work, but but he was pretty skeptic, and it worked on him. And so I even have his testimony. I have a testimony on my website of him of a similar man, another husband of one of our coaches, and he says, well, and he's chewing tobacco, and he's going, well, I didn't think it was going to work, but it's the real deal. So so it can work even for people who have a bit of skepticism. Now, I would say if somebody was like really just cursing you and not wanting you to do it and that kind of thing, yeah, I think it probably wouldn't work for them, and I wouldn't even do it. Especially, you don't want to do it for people who don't want you to do it. That's kind of violating their space, so, but it does work, and it works at a distance. So I'd say just give it a go.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to do it out of a state of love, though, right? That's key.
I think that's a key point. Yeah, absolutely. So thanks, April, for that. There's another April with her hand up, April S. So if you want to open your line.
I just wanted to say that anything is right if it's done in a state of love. Its intention is the love. I just wanted to say that. Sorry.
Yeah. April,
can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, so there is another April. There's 2 Aprils in December.
2 special Aprils.
2 Aprils in December. Hey, I just wanted to say I listened to you guys and thank you very, very, very much. And I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a very prosperous, healthy New Year.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, very much appreciated. Yeah.
And David, I have my jazz shirt on today. So yeah, there
Good.
you go.
It's America's music.
It's the best ever. But I feel like part of the family, even though I don't call in all the time. So I do appreciate it very, very much.
Well, thank you, April. God bless you. Thank you.
And we'd love to hear your story about how, how you benefited from the healing code, what changed, what you would, if at any point you want to share that,
I can share it right now. I was introduced to it by a friend who's a psychologist. And it's funny because the very first time I did it, I did not know how to hum. When I did the 9G, I did not know how to hum. And now I can hum. I don't do the happy birthday though, but I can hum. So that was my very first experience with it. And that was back in 2017. Yeah. So I've been doing it off and on since 2017.
What type of changes do you think have you experienced or, benefits, the shifts?
Well, it's the not overreacting anymore to situations and circumstances and to people. So I used to overreact and, oh, goodness gracious, really bad. And now I just kind of, okay, they're on a different journey than I am. And I'm okay with that. So it's the not overreacting, not taking everything personal. Oh my goodness, I could have cried like if somebody looked at me wrong. And now I'm a lot stronger that way. So yeah, so it's helped me in a lot of different ways as far as becoming a different person and just being a whole person again, something I didn't know.
Yeah. Have you had any changes in any like physical health or energy changes, in terms of, being energetic? Yeah.
I've got to tell you, I live in a 55 plus community. They all think I'm on drugs because I have so much energy. Yeah. They don't know what to do with me. I use the little PEMF things as well, the sports watch and the what's her name from Colorado that I got through Dr. Alex. but I use those. And I tell you what, my energy, people can't believe it. They look at me here at the 55 plus and like, what are you on? Like, you need to share it with us. But yes, always
tell
energy.
them, they say, come on, take some.
Well, and I
It's
want to start a
free.
class up here. I do. I want to start a class here in the 55 plus. And where I live is in California, and it's the number 12th worst place in the world to live.
Wow.
So yes, I know, right? So I ran into the mayor the other day, and unbeknownst to me, she actually happens to have brain and skin cancer. And I was telling her about wanting to help out in the community and to do the healing codes, because you guys had mentioned training people to do that.
Yeah.
And the chief of police here as well would like to have prayer partners to come in to help the community as well.
Wow.
So I told her, I said, I would be your girl if you want me to become one of the prayer partners. So I pray for her every day. I do the healing codes. I've given her your information to call in to get healed with the emotional part of it, as well as the physical and everything else. So yeah, so I'm trying to shed that bright light in a dark place.
There you go. That's exactly what we want to hear. That's wonderful. Wonderful.
So again, thank you guys so much again.
You're welcome. And maybe we could support in some way, Johanna. I don't know if you can get it started.
April, if you could contact me, April, maybe I can give you some materials. It might help you to be able to present it in a more gentle way to a group.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and contact me if you want to email me or call me.
Okay. And I have passed out the information to a few different people, but the older people are a little bit harder, they're set in their ways and they want their medicine and their surgeries.
Yeah. Tell them, listen, go ahead and keep doing everything the exact same. Just add this in.
Exactly.
Just add it in. Keep doing everything. Go to your doctor's appointment, and what you'll probably see when they get the shift, then things will change and it'll be like, okay, but at least at the beginning, so they don't have to see it's not an alternative. It's an addition. Yes. Right. In addition to what they're already doing. Absolutely. But again, thank you so much. And I look forward to meeting each one of you in person sometime.
Yeah. Oh, God bless you.
Well, God bless you too as well. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We have another hand up. I think it's Annie. You want to?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Dr. David, I had a question for you just regarding, I guess you could say genetic conditions. We have some family friends who, sorry.
I'm really not a geneticist. I'm a clinician though. I could try, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I know I sound terrible. I actually have COVID right now, so forgive my voice. But we have some family friends who were their son was born with a condition that they didn't know what it was at first. At first, he was fine. He was healthy and he was flourishing. And then slowly over the months, he's been deteriorating to basically where he's almost like a vegetable, like he's almost comatose. And he's under a year. And so my dad was wondering, is it possible that the healing codes would be able to help someone like this? Because if all illness and disease is caused by stress, then there's got to be some form of stress that was probably passed down genetically from the parents. But at this point, I don't know if it's something that could be healed. I don't have enough experience with the codes I feel like to help them. So I was reaching out to see what your thoughts were.
I don't know. Johanna, you might have some thoughts on this.
I tell you this, first of all, it certainly won't hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have seen, I've been doing this for 18 years and I have seen miraculous things happen, especially with children, babies, and animals, and even people in comas when others did the healing codes for them. So I would say do it, absolutely. And, of course, the baby's not going to tell you, or the child's not going to, tell you what it is or anything. you're just going to really pray over them and ask that whatever is creating the problem be found and healed. And whether it's generational or not, the healing codes, it's like the energy knows, where to go, even if it's something generational. Will it heal them? We don't know, but we know that it won't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the only other thing I would add is that also everybody's reaction to what's going on could also be benefited by doing the healing code.
Yeah.
So, how people are dealing with the situation, coping with it.
Yeah, I would release it to the whole family. If you do it for that child and then release the healing to the whole family, that would be wonderful.
Okay, I will pass that information along. Yeah, that was the only thing that I was wondering, is just as far as things are considered, oh, it's genetic. There's nothing you can do about it, or this is just, you're prone to this or you're prone to that. It makes it feel like things are set in stone, and that, it's not like, oh, I, got this wound and now I need it to be healed. But it's like, well, maybe your body thinks that this is the way your body is supposed to function, even though it's not ideal, but you know what I mean? So sometimes it's confusing.
The only other thing I'd like to add with the genetics is that, that sort of view of like, oh, you're born with the genes that you have and that's it. And, there's nothing you could do. You're going to get this or that. That mentality was prevalent for, I can't really say decades, I would say probably, but has been sort of turned on its head with the realization of epigenetics. And that is basically that your genes, what genes get expressed and how they get turned on and off, is largely controlled by your environment. And that's where all the stress and all that comes in. So, that's a paradigm shift in genetics and our understanding of, heredity and what genes get expressed I don't know, I'm not saying necessarily in the specific case. I mean, there's some gene defects that are just lethal. It seems like, it doesn't, the people, but like Johanna said, with this kind of thing, with unseen forces that we're talking about, unseen energy, the sky's the limit. Miracles are happening, so definitely do it. I would definitely, give it a try. So anyway.
Thank you. I will.
All right, we have another hand up. I think it's for a question, and it's Bridget. Your line, you want to?
Hey, Bridget. I'm waiting for that Irish
hello,
accent.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, hello, Dr. David and Dr. Johanna. Thank
No,
you very
I'm
much
not
for
the
your
doctor.
healing code.
Honorary
I
doctor.
beg your pardon?
Johanna's an honorary doctor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Bridget. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you very much for the healing code. That is going to suit me very well. Change is the thing I do not like change. I'm one of these people that just likes to do the same thing every day. And when I moved home from America, I found it very, very difficult to settle back in Ireland again. Took me several years to do so. And thankfully now I'm settled in Ireland. But yes, I don't like change, Dr. David. I just like to do the same old thing every day. And I get very anxious if anything is out of the ordinary or something different comes on the scene. So fear of change is definitely something that will sit very well with me. I'd also like to say before I go, I'd like to wish you, Dr. David, Johanna, and all the lovely people that listen in as well, a very happy Christmas and many great blessings for 2023. It's absolutely wonderful hearing everybody speak. I particularly like, Marilyn, I've got a few tips from Marilyn. She was saying about she gets her notebook. And that's what I've got myself now, as a notebook, because before this I was writing the healing codes on a piece of paper, and anytime I'd go to get them I couldn't find them. So now I have my notebook with all your healing codes in it, and I'm delighted with that. So as I say, I'd like to wish every one of you a happy Christmas And I hope 2023 will be a magnificent year for everybody.
Thank you very much, Bridget. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bridget. God bless you.
God bless you all. Thank
And
you.
also, I just like to say that those habits, because Alex made a point earlier when we had some email exchange before the session today, is that 100% of people have at least one habit that that holds them back. Well, but the truth of the matter is, most of us, yourself included, Bridget, have tons and tons of habits that are beneficial, that help us, and that are good for us, so that's the other part of it, is that there are a lot of habits that we, like working hard.
I can't see any of my habits. I can't see any of my habits being very good, Dr. David, but last week I forget now, you asked me something, and I know sometimes I appear very irritating and all the rest, but behind it all, Dr. David and Johanna, I'm an extremely shy person. I come on because I like to, I'm told I like to talk, but that's because I feel very comfortable within your group. I feel that no matter what I say, I won't be laughed at or, made fun of. But ordinarily, if I'm in a public setting, I will not talk. I freeze. When I was in America, I'd go beetroot red and everything like that. But now, because I feel so comfortable in the group, I just speak up and try and give my say on what's going on. But I am very grateful. And, as you said, Dr. David, the sky is the limit with these healing codes. I mentioned them here to people in Ireland, but they're very skeptical, your healing codes, a load of nonsense, but I'm getting through slowly but surely. And like April, I think she said she had a prayer meeting, or that she was trying to share these healing codes. I'd like to do something like that here in Ireland. And
I'm
please God, in the new year.
You just made me think, well, maybe
pardon?
you have, what? No, you made me think, because I was telling my own story of that, fear of humiliation, right? And so,
yes,
and
correct.
with the vulnerability, if you make yourself vulnerable in some way, then you're at risk of being humiliated, right? And so,
correct.
maybe you can find something also. I have my story, obviously, but maybe you can find something like that also, if it's a similar, because it seems like you were similar. I mean, I had similar things, myself, when it came to certain issues.
Well, I don't play any music, Dr. David. I can't sing to save myself, but I might find something. I like to bake and things. But the other thing, Dr. David, I was going to say, you love your jazz music. Maybe some evening you could bring in your jazz instrument and play some jazz. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, I'd be happy to play online and everything. But what I was saying not for the music, but I had this thing about when I was pre-pubescent, I liked this girl, and we had this interaction. I went and told my dad, and he just made fun of me and said, "Hey, look at David," like humiliated, that kind of thing, Yeah. Anyway, but
that's exactly right. And I've had experience of that several times, Dr. David, and with the result, I keep my mouth shut. But I seem to talk a lot more in your group because I feel very comfortable with everybody. I know sometimes I appear irritating, maybe, but it's just I'm trying to get across as quickly as I possibly can what I want to say, because I know time is of the essence. Everybody wants to speak and everything like that. But I just feel very comfortable in the group. I really, really do. And that's all thanks to yourself, Dr. David, Johanna, and all the other lovely people around the world. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you saying that, Bridget. And the one thing I just want to add to this is, when I was finishing my training with Johanna, one of our questions was, what, like, I don't know what benefit is, or how do you see things going forward or something. But what my response was, that because I've been in situations where, whenever I'm meeting with people and, interacting, it's usually with a lot of people that have a lot of negative emotions, actually, just like tons of
Yeah.
them. It's like every word is a manipulation or some coercion or something.
Correct.
And I was like, I'm just so happy to be able to join in a group where pretty much everyone in the room is like seeking emotional balance. So it's so refreshing. So maybe that's, part of it.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was up against, a lot of negativity and things like that. And when I mentioned the healing codes to people, they kind of laugh, but the laugh is going to be on the other side of their faces when they see the renewed and vivacious me next year. But I've been doing this for about a year, and I really do see the benefits. As I say, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful, and it just really makes me happy being able to join this group every Wednesday. It's my go-to place just to be. It's just a lovely place. And as I say, thank you so much. And I wish you everything that's good and wonderful for 2023.
Oh, thank you, Bridget. And
You're welcome. God bless Johanna, and God bless Dr. David.
It's true. It's like we're a little family here every Wednesday.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's a question from Becky. She just typed it in. She says migraines would fall into the kindness category, correct? Any tips for code approach for stubborn migraines, some lasting for days? I do codes for hubby. They barely budge. Grandmother had them too. So I don't know if you've ever heard the testimony of Dr. Loyd working with the two different gentlemen who had migraines. So one of them, the migraines went away in just a few weeks, and the other one, I think it took a year or so. And they both had migraines, but there were different sources. So yes, the kindness category could be a good place to start, but you always want to identify how you feel about having this condition. What is the negative feeling? Because some people may be angry, some people may be feel hopeless, maybe sad. Maybe some people are, having unforgiveness issues. Someone that's complicated, that's, made it even worse. So if if it's the feeling, whatever the feeling is, you want to direct the healing codes to that, whatever the negative feeling or beliefs are. But definitely you could use the kindness category and all the other categories for that matter, really.
Yeah. I'll just add to that, finding the a good place, the most impactful area or memory to work on can be difficult to find. And so that's what Johanna was just trying to, guide you to say, oh, when did you feel that? So I think that's a major part of it, actually, Johanna. I feel like helping people to find that issue to work on is just as important in a way as the code. They're both, but if you can get that area to work on and can address it, then the benefits be exponential. Right?
Often the problems are resolved more quickly when we do that I call it exploration and discovery. It's really worth it. Now, having said that, of course, we talked about animals and babies, and they're not going to be doing that. So you're going to have, you doing it for them, having that positive intention for them is going to be a real plus. And it's like the codes, I always say this, they know where to go, even when we don't, but when we can get our heart and head working together, it seems to amplify the effect of the code. Your head, meaning you're willing to do that exploration and discovery. And then your heart knows what the problem is, but then your heart will give you that information. So you kind of get a little, agreement there between your head and your heart. And that just seems to help things for the most part heal more quickly. Now, if people have PTSD, you don't want to go looking for any old skeletons or old memories.
And that's because they could suddenly get decompensated.
Yes.
That's the reason they could.
You want to address whatever it is you're feeling in the present moment. And you don't have to rate it on a scale from 1 to 10. That's not necessary. You just address whatever, however you feel. If you don't feel peace about it, so that means it needs some work. All right, well, I think it's the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and end our call today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you all have happy holidays with your families, and we are going to meet after Christmas, so we'll meet you again next week.
All right. Thanks,
God bless you.
everybody. Happy holidays.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.